Welcome to the Banyan Edge podcast. Here's your host, Charles Sizemore.
Welcome to the Banyan Edge podcast, America's #1 source for smarter, safer, more profitable investing, where we look to bring you the very best ideas from the very best minds in the business with absolutely no filter. I am your host, Charles Sizemore. Today, I'm joined by my good friend and colleague, Mike Carr, and by our special guest, Bryan Bottarelli. Bryan is a former trading god in the Chicago pits. He is now the head trade tactician. He is the founder of the War Room, and he is the creator of the ProfitSight trading software system, which we are going to talk about here in a bit. Before we get into that, I'm going to say a quick word to keep the guys in suits happy. This is not investment advice. We're just three guys having a conversation about trading. When you can, please do view our full disclaimer here. Just remember, we like to give you the tools to trade, but ultimately you are in control. You make your own decisions. And one more quick announcement. Bryan is going to be hosting a summit here on Wednesday. A summit's more of a trading demo and training session. It's the URL for that is 2023summit.com. Website's a little finicky. You might want to put the www in front of that, but it's www.2023summit.com. Write that down. You're going to need that for later. Okay, down to business here. So, Bryan, we know you're a trader, right? We know your history here. I did read in your bio that you successfully flipped a Michael Jordan rookie card for obscene profits. Unfortunately, none of the sports trading memorabilia of my youth has ever turned much of a profit. I think I overpaid for my Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar cards back in the day. But tell us about yourself. How did you get into all this? What's your story?
Yeah, well, Mike, thank you for having me. First of all, guys, it's always great to just find other people who love trading and love talking about speculating, and that's me. I mean, the quick answer is that trading has been in my blood my whole life. I've loved it since, buying Star Wars figures and selling them for a profit, parlaying that into sports cards and Michael Jordan cards, to then going to college and, trading out of my dorm room and then getting recruited to go onto the CBOE in Chicago, where I just out of pure luck happened to fall into the Apple computer pit, which, at the time in 1999, I had no idea it was going to be the best tech company in the entire world. But there I was, standing next to the top Apple trader, learning how he trades, learning how he manages volatility. And, oh, by the way, that happened to be during the .com rise and then the .com fall. So it was, again, pure luck that I happened to be in the best trading pit in the world, standing next to the best Apple trader during the most volatile period in market history during the .com rise and fall. So seeing that firsthand is where I learned how to trade not only options, but intense market volatility. And that skill was, very beneficial, obviously, because I can now use it in these markets currently to be able to help my members and my traders and my readers navigate such huge market volatility. Because I don't know about you guys, but I think market volatility is here to stay. It's not going down anytime soon. And knowing how to trade,
I think it's just getting started.
It's only getting started. So being able to trade market ups and market downs, it's a critical wealth building skill for any of your viewers who want to, sidestep a down market and actually make money no matter what happens. That's what I'm here to talk about today.
Yeah, no, I mean, in a bull market, you can make money. In a bear market, you can make money. In a sideways market, you can make money. It's just kind of a matter of having the right tools at your disposal for the market you have, right? So that's something you learn with experience. I do think it's great that you cut your teeth in one of the most volatile markets in history. Just imagine if you had started your career in a more kind of mundane time, you wouldn't have had that trial by fire. You probably wouldn't be the trader you are today. Totally. Sometimes it may not seem that way at the time, but with the benefit of hindsight, jumping into the fire like that is the best thing you can possibly do.
Well, not only that, but the trading pits are basically extinct these days. Everyone's on their handheld, everyone's up in their risk desk. So you can't necessarily stand next to some legendary Apple trader and watch him make money in the .com rise and it just doesn't, it's not available.
You can
to
squint
anyone.
really hard and look at their computer screen, I guess, but it's not the same as being in the pits and yelling and screaming and hand signals and just,
It's really not.
to the outsider, it looks like absolute chaos, but
Yeah.
there is a method to the madness.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was lucky enough to be in a position to, capitalize on that moment in time and use that skill and use that, that mentorship that I received to mold the trader that I am today.
Well, and about that, what the trader you are today, like who is that? Like what is that? Like what's your style? Like how would you kind of describe what it is you do?
Well, I mean, Mike, you're a trader too. I mean, I don't think necessarily I'm a very patient person. I don't know if it's a character flaw or not, but I like to make a trade, and then I like to see that trade as immediately as possible make money. And then I'm just going from the best setups to the best setups to the best setups and just churning that capital over and over and over again. And sometimes the trades don't work out, but by and large, like we've had a great start to 23, and over the history of our service, we've been hitting winners at a very high percentage and at a very consistent rate. And so I look for certain setups that I know have a history of being profitable and have a high degree of success. And as soon as I see those setups,
it's funny you mentioned that your kind of opening lines there. It sounded just like you, Mike. You started out as, when you first started as an investor, you were going for the buy and hold patient investor thing. And after a while of doing that, you're like, nope, forget this. That's not getting me where I need to go fast enough. And you yourself converted into more of an active trader, and the rest is history. So you two guys are definitely speaking the same language on that.
So what I'd like to ask Bryan, you're obviously familiar with the old ways, but I think in this market, we need new tools. And you've done that. You have found a new tool for the current market environment. And it's based on really old ideas, so to speak. And I don't mean to make that sound antiquated, but the truth is you're using a time-tested
They're not old
strategy.
ideas, Mike. They're not old ideas. They're seasoned ideas.
They're time-tested and profitable, but
yes,
they don't work the way they used to work. I mean, I can't sit here anymore and get the Wall Street Journal at night and post my charts by hand and develop a trading plan for the next day.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, I saw what you're doing. I really like it a lot. I'm impressed by it. And I was hoping you could just talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you guys have probably used every single technical analyst market indicator in the world, whether it be a Fibonacci or a 50-day moving average. Like, we've done them all, right? And guess what? Wall Street's done them all. Like, every single person can just type up Yahoo Finance and find where the 200-day moving average sits on Netflix, for example.
Or just have a bot do it for them.
Right. Yeah. So this is not new proprietary information. Everybody knows these indicators, and you guys know Wall Street knows it too. And if Wall Street knows it, then it's not going to be a successful, usable strategy for the long term. Anyone who says I've outsmarted Wall Street, okay, maybe you did for a month, but then once that month is over and Wall Street corrects, then it's done, right? So what I wanted to do is use the two patterns that I've consistently used to make money and just zero in only on those winning patterns and trade those, right? Like, you could throw a bunch of stuff. Sometimes some stuff works, sometimes some other doesn't work. I've narrowed it down to indicators that over my 20 years of trading, whether it be on the CBOE or trading by myself or launching my own, here's the indicators that I have identified as the most consistent ones. And I'm just going to zero right in on those two, right? And just trade those, because that's all you need. You don't need tens of thousands of blinking computer monitors. Like, I'm not a chameleon. I can't have one eye going this way and one eye going this way. I see these guys with these huge trade setups. It's all for show. It's really all for show. So one screen with two indicators, That's all I need to hit consistent profits in that market. And up until this point, that what I wanted to search for didn't exist. I couldn't go to a Bloomberg terminal, which pay, you guys know, are tens of thousands of dollars a year. Like this indicator, I use eSignal. It's not on eSignal. It's not on TradeStation. It's not on LiveVol. Like all of these indicators, there's thousands of them, but the one I wanted didn't exist. Right.
You were still doing it by hand, weren't you? Because
I was still manually putting it in by hand. So Mike, when you say like read the Wall Street Journal and write your chart, I was actually still the modern day equivalent of doing just that. So I kind of got to a point where I was like, man, this is working, but this could work 100 times better if I automated it. And I developed software, but I'm not a software guy. So I'm like, shoot, I'm stuck. And it's a really cool story. I don't know if you guys wanted to actually get into it.
Sure.
But okay. Yeah. Okay. So again, based on being on the CBOE, being in the Apple computer bit during like that was all luck. Well, this software was originated and created out of luck as well, because a subscriber of mine who was using these patterns himself, who understood them, knew how they work, right? He came to an event, and I was, it was after the presentation. I'm at the bar, I'm probably having a little bit of bourbon or whatever, kind of like relaxing. And I was kind of complaining to him, I'm like, man, I would love to be able to use these signals, but I can't automate it. Like I've talked to developers, I've talked to software companies, and they didn't get it. Like they know these computer guys, their minds kind of think like with zeros and ones. And I'm trying to describe to them how I see a pattern. And this is what they didn't get it. Like, so I'm just like beating my head against the wall. Like this is going nowhere. So at this particular case at the bar, guy's name is Aaron. He's like, I'm a software developer. I know how your patterns work. I'll code it for you. And I'm like, okay, like, grain of salt, like, thank you. Like, I appreciate
serendipity meant to be, huh? No.
Well, I was skeptical at first. I was like, I appreciate you offering that, but I've had all these other guys try it. So he's like, let me just give it a shot. Right. I'm like, okay, fine. And then like 6 months go by. I didn't even think about it. He comes back to me. He's like, hey, I have a pretty good prototype. You want to beta test this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I take a look at it and I'm just like, oh my gosh, Aaron, you nailed it. This is exactly what I was looking for. I haven't been able to do this with anyone else. And that was maybe almost like, what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So now fast forward to today, like I finally developed this software and through the help of Aaron and some of his coders as well, gotten it to a point where this thing is just humming along. This is crushing. This is working. And that's why I'm so excited to be with you guys today, because the best trigger patterns, the best indicators that I've traded my entire career are now automated with software. And it gives you like little dings when it's time to enter. Here's a pattern that fires. Here's a pattern that's ready to go. It's awesome. And I'm here to reveal that and then to also show your readers how this works in real time. That's the event that I'm doing. It's totally free.
And again, for everybody listening, at the 2023summit.com, like that's where you can sign up for this, and you should. I will be there. I know Mike will be there as well.
Yeah.
That's where you go to sign up for it.
I'd like to put this in a little bit of perspective. I'm a bit of a market historian. There was an attempt in the 1970s to automate this pattern. And Bob Levy tried to do it back in the 70s. He used a COBOL program and had some basic success, but the processing computer power wasn't there to keep up with what he needed to do.
In the 70s, that's probably tricky. Yeah.
His computer was probably the size of a room.
Yeah.
He actually published a book in 67 about relative strength. It would have been published in 66. But as he was going to take the key punch cards over to the computer, he dropped them and had to go back and organize them all. That's the old days, folks. That's how we programmed when I was a kid.
That seems 80s, like one small step removed from cavemen scratching on the walls of caves. That's kind of how that seems to
me. Like rock, paper, scissors it, right?
In the 80s, Art Merrill looked at this exact pattern again, and I can reveal it. I think you're very open about it. It's W's and N's.
Yes.
And he found 32 different variations of it, only 3 of which worked with any consistency. So then the programming problem becomes even harder, and no progress till 2022, when you come along. And I mean, that's quite a gap there where nobody paid attention to this because it was too hard. And you guys have solved it.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for saying that. I do think that this is truly a game-changing, revolutionary piece of trading software that has withstood the test of time, which you can't really say for any of these other, systems out there, right? Like if your guys were working on it in the 60s and 70s and showed promise to it, and here we are now in the year 2023, and it's still proving itself out to this day, then that's why I'm so excited, because this is something that warrants the attention of everyone out there who's watching, who is frustrated with their investing and frustrated with the way 2022 went, and wants to rapidly accelerate themselves and get back to where they were and above that in the year 2023. This is the first step to accomplishing that goal. This
let's talk
help.
about that though. You bring up a really good point. Yeah, how did the system do in 2022? I mean, I know you had some pretty phenomenal successes running this last year.
Yeah, the system was awesome. It was hitting winners at, I believe, just under a 70% winning rate, right? The NASDAQ was down, 30% last year. I think we're probably finalizing the number. We just finished the numbers, but we're way above the major market indexes. We're way outperforming them. In the year 2023, I know it's very early, but in the first week we made 10 trades, and all 10 of those were winners. So like this software and this package and this system, this thing is crushing right now. It's humming, and it's just it's like a well-oiled machine. We've worked a long time to get it to this point, and now we have our members who are reporting tremendous gains. They're using it. The thing I love about it too, guys, it's so simple. Like everyone can look at their keyboard and see what a W looks like, and know what an M looks like. It's basically identifying those 2 alphabetic letters. And when the system when they trigger that, it'll show it right on the screen and show you where your entry is, where your profit target is. It's the most like plug and play thing ever. I don't know about you guys, but when I work with technology, I want to hit a button, and I want the technology to immediately work, and I want to immediately understand exactly what it is I'm doing. Right? I don't have to read a manual. I don't have to mess around with codes or anything. This is the most simple thing ever, and we've made it that way specifically because we want users to plug into it and start hit the ground running and use it immediately, and that's what this is doing.
Well, what I thought was really cool about it when I was using it myself is that it's customizable.
Yeah,
you can change it based on your preferences as a trader. So a more aggressive trader can be more aggressive in searching for the patterns. A more conservative trader, I'm kind of a fuddy-duddy myself. I mean, a more conservative trader like me, I can actually kind of scale it back and go for higher probability, perhaps lower magnitude of a win, but with higher probability. So there's a lot of customization on that.
This is something that I want to dive into during our event on Wednesday, the Accelerated Profit Summit. Every trader out there has a different risk profile. I'm different than you, Charles. I'm different than you, Mike. Mike, you're different from Charles. Some guys want to have a consistent 10 or 15% gain in one day and be done, right? That's what they want. That's their goal, 10% a day. They could do that. This allows them to customize the patterns to fire when those parameters hit. Some guys, they're cowboys. They want to swing for the fences. I want a 50, 100% winner in one day. So they are able to then customize how that software triggers for them based on their own individual unique risk profile. There's not anything out there that I've seen that is quite like this, that allows an individual user to program it to their exact trading specifications. Again,
Yeah, I've
so
never seen
simple
anything
too.
like it.
Right? You guys saw it, right? It was easy, right?
Yeah, well, it was fantastically easy. I mean, you see various softwares have, you can change your risk profile to whatever, some standard deviation level or something, but that's complicated, and most people don't even understand what that means.
Yeah.
The nice aspect about your software was it just makes sense. I like those risk parameters. They're very intuitive and they just flat out make sense. I thought that aspect was fantastic.
Good. I'm glad. I hope your readers will soon get to experience that for themselves, because it is really cool, and it is working, and it's making a lot of people a lot of money right now.
And what I just like to point out is I don't have to be glued to the screen all day. It'll send me, I could tell it I'm following gold and put GLD in there, and it'll send me an alert when that triggers. So I can go golf and I can trade with this strategy. And I thought that was nice.
And again, I'll demo this whole thing for you guys and for your viewers on Wednesday. But not only does it just track the patterns that are simple, but it tracks the stocks that you want. So Mike, you like to trade gold, you put in maybe GLD, and you put on Newmont Mining, and you put in Barrett Gold, and you put in Nugget, like the 2 times leveraged one, if you really want to make some guys like to trade technology. So they could put in Microsoft, they could put in Netflix, Google, Amazon. Some guy loves trading Tesla, put in Tesla then. Again, it's entirely customizable to the stocks that you want to trade and the risk profile that you have as an individual trader.
Yeah, I think you're onto something great here, man. I've looked for trading strategies all the time, and I can tell you, I haven't found anything quite like this actually ever. I was trying to think in how long? No, actually ever. I have never seen this before.
Okay, cool. Well, I would love for you guys to attend, put your comments. I would love to actually dive into actually how the patterns work, how the software works. I want to show you guys that, but that's what basically the event is for.
You can't steal your thunder for Wednesday. That's what Wednesday is for. So again, if you missed the URL the first couple times here, it's 2023summit.com. This is Wednesday, January 11th at 2 p.m. Eastern. I will be watching it. I know Mike will be watching it, and you really don't want to miss out on this. You'll want to watch this as well.
Yeah,
so I'm excited. And I'm going to be there. I've already seen a demo, and I'm going to be there again because there's something new to learn every time I see it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really excited to do it. I hope you can see the enthusiasm coming out in me, because I don't typically things that excite me. I really get going, and this is like the creation of this is basically like the career for me. 20 years of trading has all been kind of boiled down into this creation, this software package. So I'm excited to present it to other traders who can, one, appreciate what it is, and two, use it to make their lives better, use it to make themselves wealthier, use it to sidestep market volatility and actually turn volatility into profits. Like, this software does all of that. And I think that's what every basically trader is looking for right now, aside from the addition to go golf on like you, Mike. But by noon you've already made your money on your gold play. So then you can play 18 and know that you made your money that day.
Exactly.
Well, very nice. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me. I'm looking forward to this. It's Wednesday the 11th, 2 p.m., 2023summit.com. Don't miss this. Until next week, Charles Sizemore for the Banyan Edge podcast.
Thanks, guys.